Hey y'all, let me know you're here. When you come in, just tell us where you're coming from. Thought I had gotten all this out, but I guess not. Clean it up. Alright, good enough. Y'all, today we're going to be doing Christmas in July. Do y'all remember talking about that? Um, trying to find my. Here we go. I want to get this out. Bear with me. Getting my color. We're not doing alcohol inks. We're going to do some pigment paste today. And I have a whole bunch to choose from. So I want to pull some out. Look at that ruby red, y'all. Look, and it's got multicolor on it. It's a color shift. There's dark green. There's a lovely purple and a gold. So I'm just going to take these out, set them to the side. These are some options for us to use. That blue violet, that's pretty. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Not that one. Not that one. Ooh, that's a pretty blue too. So I'm just going to pull some of these out and we can make our selections from there. Ah, there's another beautiful blue. So we'll do that. We have some ghost colors, which you remember are the interference colors. We're going to pull those out too and see what we have. No yellow. That's a red violet. That's a maroon. I don't want to do that. Oh, that's a plum. That's a good color. So we'll use that maybe for a deer. Okay, that's enough. We can play around with this. And that's a little handy dandy spot. And we'll go from there. Also have some white. Hey, Tamara, of our shimmer that we might use too. All right. Glad you're here. Let me I'll just mix 1 cup, and then we can use that with our little cups for our colors. And I'll show you what we're going to do. So, just going to set these out so they're ready. Going to get our resin poured. Gloves on first. I always forget this too. If you're joining, look and see, is there a hype button on this video? If so, click that hype button. YouTube keeps sending me these little things that says there's hype there where we can hype our videos. And I always forget to remind you that. While we're talking about that, if you haven't, just go ahead and click that thumbs up while I'm getting our resin ready. So that's knocked out of the way. We don't forget, because I'm really bad about remembering to tell you that too. So my bad on that part. Gonna get my handy dandy wipes. And we're gonna pour our resin and mix it. And we're gonna talk about a few things. And y'all, I don't know where you are in the world, but down south, we have a tradition where we always had big art shows around Christmas in July. Does anybody else celebrate that or have it in their area where they celebrate Christmas in July and there's like big festivals or art shows or anything like that around it? We always had the best time. Of course, any reason to celebrate is a good time, right? All right, got our. So I'm gonna do. Let's just make 10 ounces. That's more than enough. So that's 5 of A, and I'm wiping off my spout so my lid doesn't stick and it's a hard time opening it. In the future, that's a handy little trick for you. Now we're going to pour our B. Ugh. And I'm going to show y'all some, ooh, some good husky hair hanging out there. Don't want that in there. I'm going to show you some examples of what we're making and what you can make. And like I said, some of these techniques you could use for any other mold you have, or pouring it on wood if you want to do a canvas, anything like that. All this applies to that too. All right, so we have our resin poured. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to start mixing my resin. And I'm going to, in the meantime, let this sit a minute. Here is an example where we use our snowflake here, and where I used navy and I added some of my Marabu. That's where you get the sparkle from in this. And then I just used a chrome highlighter to highlight the edge of my snowflake. This technique you can use with any of your molds, in a coaster, in a soap dish, a ring tray, anything like that. You can use the same technique and color. See how it's all sparkly? It's sparkly because I added the Marabu to it. So that's one technique. And then we have a reindeer where I took the glitter, the chunky glitters, and I did a green in one area, and I poured blue, and I poured black. So I have a multicolor of a clear ornament that's going to let lights from the tree shine through this too. Yeah, I love, that's one of my favorite combinations, Tamara. I love this navy with the sparkle in it. So classic and traditional. And then you have this where you can do the multiple colors. I have another chunky glitter that's clear that I just did brown in the holographic chunky glitter, but I've also added some regular glitter, some silver glitter in there as well. So you have that option. This I'll save. These two I'll save for last because they're my favorite. And then I just took a traditional holographic chunky glitter, but I added a white background. So I poured this part first, the clear, and then after this cured, I came back and added a white background, and this is what we came up with. And it's also really beautiful. I did the same thing with a candy cane, or not a candy cane, a piece of candy. You know, the wrap candy we get at Christmas. This I added regular glitter in with the red holographic too, and I backed it with white. So that's another one. And this, y'all, is my favorite. I just did a dirty pour. I had some leftover resin that I was pouring on a different project, and I just put it in the cup and I poured it out in a dirty pour into our stocking. And it gives such a beautiful effect that it doesn't have to be a traditional Christmas. So this is what I'm talking about when I say that some of these techniques that I'm showing you, you can use for any mold and any project. This would look amazing in one of the jars or a ring tray or a solid, flat, big round. Anyway, that's another technique. So we're going to be talking about all these different techniques. I'm going to keep stirring my resin. I love it. Yes, I love that dirty pour. It is one of my favorite things to do because it gives that abstract beauty that people really don't think about. They forget. Just let resin do resin. And it creates beautiful effects that give us unbelievable results. So while I say this is a Christmas in July, do y'all understand that I'm also applying techniques that you can use with any of your molds or any, different, like say if you want to pour a canvas, you could dirty pour in one corner, do a different dirty pour in another. You can do the dirty pour down the center of the canvas and do different effects around that, like a geode. So there's a lot of different things we can do with these techniques. It's simply up to our imagination. And there's no right or wrong way. Just play around with your techniques. But I said Christmas in July because I wanted to pay homage to our Southern traditions that we do, or did at least when I was still down there. Every year we had little festivals and craft shows and people all about Christmas year round. You know what I mean? So this was an easy, great way to have that Christmas in July, but bring in different effects that can be used. You could use these ornaments any time of year. It doesn't have to just be Christmas, right? You can hang this up for any reason. 4th of July, it's blue, right? Or you can just have a classic winter theme. It doesn't have to be Christmas, with this gorgeous blue and sparkle with the metallic pin highlights around the edge. And you can use any color to highlight it with an acrylic pen. So fun stuff. So we're going to talk about how we achieve these techniques and what you can do with these. But this shows you an example of what we can do with them. And if you're just tuning in or just got in, if there's a hype button down there, which I'm not sure that there is, if there is, if you could hit that, it really helps bring attention to the channel and lets others find us who may be looking for answers that we talk about today, but might not see us if we don't get enough likes, or you know how YouTube does that, right? They're super finicky about bringing attention to people's channels and the algorithms and all that. The more likes we get, the more likely people are to see the video. So I appreciate y'all doing that, because my goal is to help as many beginners as we can to make this easier on everybody. And you see I'm stirring, and I've wiped my stick down a few times, and I wipe my sides, and I scrape my bottom, because I don't want to leave any weak spots in our resin. And mixing resin is not a timed event. It is strictly mix it until, hey there, glad you're here. We strictly mix until there's no streaks, or what I call jellyfish. No streaking, we want it clear. And there's some bubbles in this, and I'm not gonna use my bubble machine today because this resin's very good about self-releasing its bubbles, and I will spray some of our handy dandy isopropyl alcohol to help with those bubbles too. Up, y'all. There's my girl. Y'all meet my youngest child, who's in the process of planning her wedding. So happy you're here. She's saying hi to everyone. Anyway, all right, we have our resin mixed. So now we're going to divvy it out because y'all remember what I told you about prom? Everybody's crammed in the gym. You see how much resin is in this cup? It's like prom night. All the kids are crammed in the gym. They start dirty dancing. The gym heats up really fast. That's going to cause a flash cure. We don't want that. So, to better chaperone, we're going to send 20 kids to the library, 20 to the cafeteria, 20 to another classroom. Anyway, that's how we better, that's how we keep our resin, prevent flash cures. So I always tease y'all because prom is the best way I know to explain that, where people never forget. If they hear Dirty Dancing song or they see the movie, they start giggling because they remember my warning. All right, so let's split this out. I don't want, and this is what we're going to add our separate colors into to create some of these beautiful effects. Okay, so separating y'all, and then we're going to pick our colors and start pouring. That's the fun part. And I always tell y'all, the worst part about resin is doing all the prep work, right? Mixing our resin, adding our colors. That always takes longer than the actual pouring or the technique, right? So, cut off. All right. Now, I'm going to set this cup aside. There we go. We're going to set it to the side. And I have some gold flake. We can make a gold flake ornament too. So we have that. Let me get my handy dandy wipe and wipe off my gloves. Don't want to mess that up. All right. So let's get some mixing sticks for these colors. Well, I just threw one on the floor, but that's all right. I have more. Okay, so let's talk about which colors we're going to use. That's empty, and I can use that for a dirty pour because I will be doing a dirty pour. And let's think about dirty pour colors. What would go together? I think I want to do blues for our dirty pour. So we'll use the sapphire blue, the regular blue, and then I'm going to use this sparkly white. And this is from Rolio. I've had that, gosh, for years, and it still lasts all that time. So let's do 3 colors for that. We'll use that for our dirty pour. Let's do our whites, because I can use this white for multiple. So we have white in there. Put this lid back on because I don't want to spill it. Don't waste your resin and your goodies. So then we want our blue. Here's our blue. Let's put that in here. Ooh. Doesn't take very much of this, as you're going to see. And you want to make sure you mix these really, really well so you don't have any clumps or anything like that. Look at that color, y'all. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. That's a great blue. I'm going to mix this up good. I want to make sure that I'm getting all of that off the sides. Because remember I told y'all, especially these plastic cups and your paper cups, these like to stick to the side. So you want to make sure that you're scraping it all down and it's getting incorporated. So you're not going to be pouring out clumps or any that's not mixed. Ooh, look at that blue, y'all. Gorgeous. All right, so we have a blue. Now we're going to do our other lagoon blue. I'm just going to unscrew because these unscrew off. So I'm just going to do that. In fact, I'm just going to take a popsicle stick and put some in there. And you see that's not a lot. And I'm going to screw this back on. Set them to the side because we already used those. I'm going to do the same thing. And don't start real fast because you're going to kick that mica in the air. And you don't want to do that either. Okay. Again, I'm scraping all my sides down. I want to make sure I get all of that powder. Isn't that another gorgeous blue? So those are going to be beautiful in a dirty pour. And if you want to use pigment paste, you can do that too. Because remember with mica, what I told you guys, mica always moves to the middle. And where did I put my examples? Oh. Let me see if I can pull it back out. Y'all. I'm going blind today. There it is. All right. This example I showed you, you see the back? Remember I told you mica always moves to the middle? This is the back side of this dirty pour. So if you're using mica, keep that in mind. Yeah, babe, ask away. You can't text it to me on my phone. You can send me a message through Facebook Messenger and I can get that. Because my phone is blocked from anything incoming. So if you have a question, just send me a message through Messenger. All right, I have Messenger up so I can answer it if you send it through. Sorry, y'all. My daughter is doing something for me and I can't answer my phone because I'm recording on my phone and I have it shut down so nothing comes in. Incoming calls and all that cancel out my stream. So let me see. Did she send me a message? And no, I have not gotten it yet. All right. Whew. All right, let's stir our white, and then we're going to do a dirty pour and show you how this works. And then some of the others, we're going to add some chunky glitter to show you that. We're going to do a dark blue. We're going to add our Marabu sparkle to that. So you can see the difference in those. And we'll do some chunky glitter. All right. Y'all, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Y'all see the sparkle in that? Okay, so let's set these others aside. And let's just use this mold today. We have more things we can pour there. So we'll use one of these ornaments to do a dirty pour so you guys can see that. I want you to see how that works. Okay, get that out of there. So to do a dirty pour, we're going to take an empty cup and I'm going to pour from each of these colors into this cup, and then I'm going to pour it all out in one go. So we're going to pour in some blue. We're going to pour in, this is another color shift. Let's pour in our other Lagoon blue. We're going to pour in some white. I think we'll do one more round. So we're going to do the same order. Dark blue. And that's about a dime size, maybe a nickel size for this mold. There's that. And another layer of white. All right. Now, I'm not doing anything to this cup. I love you too, baby. Thanks for doing that for me. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, so we're going to, and I want to make sure y'all see this, we're just going to pour this out. And I'm going to go higher up because I want more of a design. If I didn't want a big difference in my design, I would pour closer to the mold. So I'm going to go higher up. And y'all see how this is coming out. All right, and that's it. Now, you see how that, let me stretch this so it's level. You see that design, how it came out, right? And I don't have a little baby. I have some left, so I'm going to do a second. We're just going to add more color like we did. This time we're just going to do one round and pour it into the next one. All right. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and we're going to pour again. And this one I'm going to pour closer so you can see the difference in design. There you go. There's our second one. And I poured that one closer so you can see the difference in the design. Now, I will tell you, if you want to pour this higher one and get that design, here's the best way to do that. Either use pigment paste, that's heavier and is going to stay where you put it, or let your resin sit for about 45 minutes. It's going to get really thick. Then pour your colors into your dirty pour cup. That's going to keep them separated better than what they are right now because we just mixed it and we're pouring immediately. So I'm not giving this any time to sit and thicken up on its own. So we're going to put that dirty pour cup to the side. I want to take, what color should I use? Let's do a green. And this is the holographic chunky glitter. And I'm just gonna, well, if I can get it open. Well, here we go. I got this popped. So I'm just gonna add some of this green into the clear. Okay? And like I said, this is just chunky glitter that's holographic. You see that? And I'll have links to all these things after I finish this. I'll go back and add links. So if you want to find these exact glitters and colors and things that I'm using, You can just simply click the link and it'll take you right to where I got them. These glitters came from Amazon. They're not brand name. I don't remember. I've had them for 4 years now, I guess. You can do that. Then that's what I mean by mix your colors separately, and let that sit. Now, if you pour them in the dirty pour cup and let that sit 45 minutes, your colors are going to marry in that time frame. So if you want to get that thicker, let each separate color sit by itself. And then after that 45 minutes, pour it into your dirty pour cup so it will stay separated better. And that will give it a different effect. If you let it sit in the dirty pour cup already poured, they're going to mix and mingle and do all that. So, yeah, if you want that different effect, gosh, dog, y'all. My huskies are blowing coats, so husky hair is everywhere. All right, so this is what the green holographic looks like. That's a great question, Zam. Thank you for asking that. All right, and y'all see how it's still very transparent. You can see through it. And if you're doing it for Christmas, or say you leave your tree up year round and you just change out the ornaments for the different holidays. I have friends that do that too. So this will be a great St. Patrick's Day look if you were doing that, or Mardi Gras if you're down south, because you know green and purple and yellow are Mardi Gras colors. So that's all I did there. I just poured the green chunky glitter by itself, and we're going to let that one sit. And now I want to do a solid color. Oh, goodness. Or in fact, we're going to do a two-tone first. And we're going to use the purple in the pearl gold. You see how it glistens? So we're going to use these two colors in this one, and that would be a great Mardi Gras ornament if you leave your tree up year round. Another white. Let's see, do I have enough? Oh, I thought I had another cup of clear. Maybe I don't. I'll split this. I only have 1 cup of clear left. So that's fine. I'm going to pour some of this in there. So we'll do our purple and our gold. And then I can show y'all with the remainder of these what you can do. All right. Get these situated. Let's do purple. A little bit more. There you go. You can see that's about a nickel size. And that amount of resin is good. And then we'll do the gold. And y'all, I can tell you, these golds and metallics from Let's Resin don't take very much at all. And you'll see there's not a lot in here. And you can see when I start mixing it. See that? It really, really goes a long way, which is great because we need things that last longer, don't we? It's more cost effective that way. Then we're not constantly having to replace it. And this is a difference. People ask me all the time, what is the difference between getting your colorants from a company and from Temu or Shein or places like that? This is a big difference. This is very vivid. It's a high quality. And it doesn't take a whole lot to get the color that you're looking for. Where I have run into this because starting out, I went with Temu and all those places thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to save so much money. Well, what I found out was the color was not true. It was a completely different color mixed up than what it said it was. So that didn't help my designs at all. What did I do with my purple? Oh, I already put it in there. I just need to mix it up. So we're mixing our purples. So that is a very huge difference. Quality really, really matters in resin. And people don't give it as much credit as they should. Because high quality items, one, they last longer without issue. So we all know resin turns yellow, right? And if you're using a good high quality resin, you don't have the problem that 6 months in, your customer reaches out and says, hey, my stuff is yellow now. What is going on with that? It's because you use a knockoff or a cheap resin. It's worth the investment if your projects are going to carry your name as an artist, right? So there's our beautiful purple. And we have our gold. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour these at the same time. And if they marry in the middle, they marry in the middle. I really don't care. I like letting resin do its thing. So let me move these out of the way because I really want you to see this. I'm going to move this mold down so it's in view. I got to move the stuff over. All right. So you can see this now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both my cups and I'm pouring them in at the same time. And I'm going to let it work its way to the top on its own. See how easy that was? People get all freaked out, scared that it's so hard, when in actuality, it really isn't. The thoughts that we put in ourselves make it so much scarier. Hey, Melinda. Glad you're here. So we're showing different techniques using ornaments because we're celebrating Christmas in July, which is a huge thing down south. We do a lot of our, I know, isn't it crazy? Woohoo! It worked out on a stream for once. Anyway, we're showing different techniques that you can use not only in Christmas ornaments, but in any mold that you want to pour. These techniques work with all of that. So this pour worked out perfect. Gonna leave it alone. And I wanted to show you. Now, once this is cured, you can come in and put some rhinestones down the middle. You can put a Christmas ribbon down the middle. You can do all kind of things. So Trisha, we're so glad you guys are here. So that's those techniques. Now we're going to talk about what else. Well, there we go. What else we can do. Now, I'm going to just pour. Let's see, I don't want to do blue. Let's do, I should have enough to do this reindeer. We're just going to pour him blue and use the rest of this blue. And remember, again, this is mica. So it's going to move toward the middle, y'all. And I can come back every 30 minutes or so and adjust the design. And I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm just going to leave this because we have some husky hair hanging out. And I'm going to throw my cup away. I keep the trash can handy so I can just throw it straight in my trash. I don't have to worry about it spilling or leaking or getting anywhere. I've cleaned my stick off with my wipe, put it away so it's ready for its next use. Throw my cup away so it's out of my way. I don't have to worry about knocking it over. All right, so there we have that. And now I have a silicone tip tool that I use for my nails. Yes. And that's exactly, Sam, you're in my mind. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go all the way down to the bottom of my mold. I'm just going to go like maybe 2/3 down. And I'm just going to swirl it like so. And create this little swirly design up in his antler. And I'm going to push and make sure that we've gotten all the way around that nub so we have our hole. Now what you're going to see is this mica is still going to continue to move to the middle. That's in its nature. It's going to do that regardless. So every 15 minutes or so, I'm going to come back with my silicone tool and I'm going to swirl again. And it should stay. It may not, and I'm okay with that because we'll make this back. I'm not too worried about it. But that's an option. So every 15 minutes, come back, do another swirl, and there you have that. Now, to do, I'm going to take this dark blue and I'm going to add, y'all know, my lovely Marabu. And look, do you see on the bottom how this is coated? Do you see that down there? There's a BB in here. And when I shake it, it pulls all of that off the bottom and evenly distributes it. So when I open this and pour it, I'm not pouring just alcohol because this is an alcohol ink. So I'm going to put some in there and I'm going to let you see it before I stir it. You see all that sparkly goodness in there? Now we're going to stir it up. Now another husky hair. Y'all, do y'all have dogs that shed? Huskies blow their coats twice a year. So in summertime, they blow their winter coat. In spring, they blow it again to make it easy. Yes, and that does happen. And you know what I do? I slam it on my table to get that ball out. That'll make the BB drop because this is just a BB in here. And I highly recommend if you have the nose needle, the needle nose drops that you use for your alcohol inks, if you're doing the swirl technique, excuse me, to put a BB in there too to help distribute all that. Yes, ma'am, you know. Those huskies and their hair makes it look like Christmas time with snow flying everywhere. All right, so you see the difference. I added the Marabu, and I'm just going to pour it in this little baby gingerbread man. We're going to have a blue gingerbread man. And then I can always come back with acrylic paint pens and add little designs and a little face for him. You know, a little ribbon across his arms and his legs, like he's wearing little knickers. So there's all kind of options that you can do with these. This is empty. I'm going to throw this away, get it out of my way, so I don't have to worry about it. Going to wipe my stick and make sure you wipe both the sides and the end of your stick. You want to make sure all that is off. So my stick, put that away. It's ready for its next use. And now we're going to go to, let's see, what do I have? Golden, purple, white, and this green. And see this chunky glitter settle to the bottom? You can do I have it nearby? But I don't think I do. The school glue trick. Who remembers that? Clear glue. It is 1 drop of clear glue for every 3 ounces of resin. And it's going to make a slime-like consistency. It's going to be all blobby. It's supposed to be like that. And what it does, it's going to help your glitter from sinking straight to the bottom. It's going to keep it evenly dispersed. Because when I poured this ornament, a lot of that glitter is going to sink to the bottom because I did not put that clear glue in there. So keep that in mind. This is great for your clear glue trick. And remember, it's got to be the clear PVA glue, not the white school glue. So let's make And you can see that mica's moving toward the middle. So let's go back and give it a swirl. And you see what I mean? How that's always going to move toward the middle. So you've got to watch it. And you've got to come back and do that swirl every 15 minutes or so to get that design. Okay, so let's just pour our gingerbread man with this green. That's going to fill that up. I have a little bit left, and I'll do something else with that in a minute. I'll wipe my stick. So it's ready to go again. And then we're going to take this white. And look, y'all see the bubbles here on top? No fire. I'm just going to let my alcohol take care of the bubbles, because remember, if you use fire in this and you're using it with a thin silicone mold, you're going to run the risk of melding your project to your mold, and the only way to get it out is rip it. So do not use fire with these molds, as tempting as it may be. I can see here. And I'm just going to, I'm going to take care of this right now. I'm going to wipe my stick. There you go. Bubbles are gone. So that's another way. If your alcohol is not getting it to go away, use your silicone stick. Gently stir it. It's all good. Okay. So let's do, I want to show you. Let's just do this. This one, we're going to make this white as a backing to this horse. So I'm only going to fill this halfway, and I'm going to leave room where I can come back and put a glitter or something as an accent on top of this. And maybe I have a sticker. Maybe I have, you can use the stencils. Maybe I have a stencil that I want to use. So you can do that. And I just poured a base coat of this because I'm going to come back and add something else on top. And you could use candies. Let this cure. Get some of the confectioner. Oop. Well, that wasn't good. That dropped in there. So we're going to have a new design in that one. That's all right, though. Throw this away because it dropped in there. But you see how this is just a white background. I can go back and I can add sprinkles. What have we here? Well, I have Halloween ones. But you see, we have that Halloween. We can put on top of this if they were Christmas ones, which I have Christmas ones somewhere, just not handy in my hand right now. But you can see with these little decors, little add-ins, you can add that on top of this white after this is cured, and then pour a clear layer over it, and you're going to have that design on top of this white to stand out. So there's a lot of different things you can use. You can use rhinestones for eyes, or a design like we said down this middle. You can put rhinestones there. Yeah. Thanks, Trish. That's okay. It happens. So I'm glad you guys are seeing these things, because not only does it happen to you, it happens to us too. We don't always do things perfectly. We have accidents and mistakes, and we learn from them, or we just go with the flow. This, I'm just going to see there's a little design here in the corner from that cloth, and I'm just going to let it be. Do its own thing. It's okay. This is one thing that I have learned that's very, very important for beginners. And that is, give yourself the same grace that you give everybody else. We're always quick to tell other artists, it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? we forget to give our own selves that same grace. So don't push yourself. If it's not perfect, it doesn't have to be. It's fine. So keep that in mind. Be nice to yourself. Because sadly, a lot of us aren't. We expect perfection. And if people wanted perfection, they would buy something from a robot. That's the only way you're going to get perfection. Because if there's a mark or something like that, the computer's going to discard that and send it to Misfit Island. Let me tell y'all, I have a lot of projects that are Misfit Island that did not turn out, and I'm okay with that. So keep that in mind. People don't want perfection from artists, they want the love that we put into our projects. Again, I'm going to go back and swirl this deer, and I'm going to keep doing this for the next hour to keep that design. So there we go. All right. So that's really what I wanted to cover with you guys. All the different ways that you can make these designs, not only just for Christmas, but any mold that you have. All these techniques you can use anytime you want, not just Christmas. With this chunky glitter, remember that glue trick. Clear glue, 1 drop for every 3 ounces of resin will keep your glitter evenly dispersed and not sink straight to the bottom. So there's your major tip for this one. And we'll go from there. But y'all, that's all I have for this one. I went way longer than I expected. Thank you, Tamara. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button on the way out. That allows people to find us and people who may have questions or been looking for answers for these techniques. They'll be able to see the video because you hit that like button. So, anyway. Oh, before I do that, let me give away. Wow. All right, shame on me. Give me 1 second. All right. I'm trying. I got a goodie for y'all. Do, do, do. Oh, here we go. All right. Are you ready? We're going to give away 5 memberships right now. If you too want to become a member, just click that join button, and for $5 a month, you can help me and the channel because I'm not sponsored by anybody. Everything that I do comes out of my pocket. So if you want to buy a copy, any of that, it is forever appreciated. I love all my members, and I have something special. I know I've been saying it, but I'm going to do something special for my members. So if you want to be included in that, make sure you click the join button and follow the instructions and become a member today because I have something extra special for y'all. Until then, y'all, if you have any questions, you can reach me in our Facebook group. Leave a comment on this video. I respond to all comments. So if you have a question, leave it in a comment and I'll get your answer. But that's all I have for this one, y'all. I hope you have a great weekend. Until next time, happy arting. Ta-ta for now. Thanks, Tyler. I love you.